Mirrors are creepy things. Their very existence is just impossible. You'll think me stupid for thinking this, but if you listen further, perhaps you'll be able to see where I'm coming from. Or not. And I've been thinking a lot lately about these mirrors. Let's state the facts. Mirrors reflect everything that is in its direct line of sight. Inanimate objects, objects that move or can be forced to move, or beings that move on their own, such as animals or us. They reflect things flipped, inverted, backwards. Reflections always appear clearer the more spotless or faultless something is. The more imperfections there are, the less clear the reflection is. Objects reflected in mirrors aren't creepy at all. They don't move on their own. They can only be moved by entities such as us, or perhaps the reflections. Going off the rules that we have already professed, these reflections would be polar opposites of us, doing everything we do, yet the complete opposite. Left becomes right. Who's to say that good does not become bad? Have you ever stared at yourself in the mirror for a long amount of time? Ever heard of the expression, the eyes are the windows, or in this case, the mirrors to the soul? Perhaps you were inspecting your mascara, looking at how long your eyelashes were, or maybe you just want to check what your eye color was. Don't do that. If these entities were real and were our polar opposites, who's to say they can't interact without judgment or take over? Have you ever just felt so angry for no reason, or cut ties with a friend without truly knowing why? Said something you just didn't mean? Most of the time, you will find a mirror or a reflective surface somewhere in the room. Mirrors, windows, computer screens. Going deeper, there is many of us on our side of the mirror. Who's to say there isn't more of them on their side? Ever seen those little flickers in the corner of your eyes while looking into a mirror? There isn't just one entity in that surface. But let's go deeper. Polar opposites, opposite colors. If these so-called mirror entities were real, then not only is menial things such as text and objects inverted, then we could also deduce that perhaps colors themselves are inverted also. Our mirror entities would perceive red as blue, green as purple, and so on and so forth. In this case, when we see light, then these mirror entities would be in darkness. Yet when we are in darkness, the entities would be bathed in complete light. They would be able to see our every move. Ever thought that you saw something move on a reflective surface in the dark? Sometimes you can trick them. Turn on the lights and look at your reflection, not directly in the eyes, but in its general direction. If you turn the lights off and on and then reach towards your reflection suddenly enough, you can blind them. Catch them off guard, even for a second. Sometimes you can even catch a limb protruding ever so slightly from their side of the mirror. In a couple of seconds, the screen will go black. Perhaps you'll find yourself staring at your own reflection in your empty screen. Perhaps the lights are off, and they can see you ever so clearly. But there's nothing to be afraid of, is there? This is just a theory. A story. Theories and stories can be wrong, can't they? I'm just some random voice from somewhere across the world. A human being like you. Right.